Hey there, everybody. What's going on? Welcome. Today is Wednesday. It's February 15th, 2023. My name is Jeremy. I'm home. And this is my I want to say good morning to all of you who are here. Who is here? Let's see. I'm here. Good morning, Liz, Tommy, Gad, Rebecca, all the rest of you out there, whether you're watching live later or listening. Thank you for coming by. Thank you for yesterday, because I was up at 3 a.m. and in a shuttle at 4 a.m. And I'll tell you what, if there's an airport I've been to where I got to my gate faster than Burlington, which the record is for me 7 minutes from the time I parked my car till I was at the gate, it would be Cancun at 4:45 in the morning. Right? 6:15. It's generally a 2-hour drive from Tulum. There were no cars on the road. Got there, checked in. There was one person in front of me in security, and I was there before anything opened. Everything opened at 6, except for Starbucks, which I'm pretty sure that was not Starbucks coffee. I've had Starbucks coffee. That did not taste like Starbucks coffee, not even a little. And then I wandered around the airport for 2 hours until they boarded the flight. But I'm home. Everything slept amazingly well last night. Oh, my man. Best night's sleep I've had in weeks. And it was great. Good morning also to Tommy and Stacy. And yep, I see that it's choppy. Once in a while, it's going to do that. The computer decided just before I went live that it wanted to reboot for some updates, and I'm chalking it up to that. And I can do, and I could have been late. I decided to show up as best I could. I don't know if I said it. Good morning, Stacey. I hope you all had a wonderful Tuesday. I hope you are looking forward to a wonderful Wednesday. What else can I say? I don't know what else I can say. It's weird to be home. It's weird to be here. It's weird to have the heat on. Falling asleep last night, it was deafeningly silent. I couldn't hear anything. There was nothing making noise, and it was so weird. And I fell asleep, and I did not wake up, and I did not move. Well, I woke up, obviously, but I didn't wake up in the middle of the night. I don't think I moved. And I think I got a crazy good night's sleep. That was the biggest challenge with being there. I did not sleep well. It was loud. The mattress wasn't great. There were no blankets on the bed. It was just a single top sheet. That was that. I don't know about you. I need some weight. I need the weight of a blanket. Even if it's summer, I have a summer blanket. It's a cooling blanket. I need something more than a sheet. But I'll tell you, it was funny when I went out waiting for the shuttle. It was cold. It was Mexican version of cold. It was like 65 degrees. And you see people walking around with long sleeve sweatshirts and hoods are up, and it was so funny. It's like, you guys, this is t-shirt weather. Other than the wind. If it hadn't been for the wind, it would have been t-shirt weather. But yeah, I don't know what else to say. I had no one sit next to me on anything. The flight from Cancun, I had the whole row to myself. I had the seat here, and I had the 2 seats there. Nobody was in the row. Great. Good morning, Jenny. Stacy's driving today. Gad says, I remember moving from Taipei to a small town in Europe. Couldn't sleep because it was too quiet. I believe it. Tommy says, noisy here last, I assume night. Howling contest between the Coyotes and the handsome, happy Hound Dogs. Who won? So if you did something fun or exciting or worth sharing, I hope you drop it in the chat. And if you've got something coming up today, fun, exciting, something you want support on, drop it in the chat. Today will be a relatively simple day for me. I'm intentionally not doing too much. I've got a few things that I've got to do, which honestly are probably going to take longer than I have planned. If you don't know me, I think I said this, but I would have said this 2 weeks ago, that we had an order of sparring gear show up the day before I left. And I rushed, I got it into inventory, and I put up notices everywhere and said, it's here, but it's not going to ship until the 15th. Well, it's the 15th. It's time to ship it all. And a bunch of it's sitting right there. So I've got, I don't even know how many orders. We sold a lot, I think, and I have to pay for it. They were late enough sending me the bill that it came while I was away. So I've got to go pay for it. I think we sold enough that we can almost pay for what we bought, which is kind of cool. So I'll do those things today. I'll do the books. And tomorrow's a busy day, so I will probably not work too long because I want to reintegrate slowly. I don't want to just go back to work all the time, right? Full day work. Good morning, Nish. Nish says, I have not yet adjusted to South Carolina's idea of cold. And good morning to you, Dennis. Dennis says, happy Wednesday, peeps, and welcome home, Jeremy. Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you, Kelly. Jenny says, my instructor, quote, officially made me a third dan during class last night by performing the ceremonial belt tying. I saw that picture. Congratulations. It's wonderful. Gad says, counting down to my last day at my current job and driving my wife to the airport. She's going back to Taiwan to visit her friends and family after more than 3 years, having last seen them. Well, safe travels to her and enjoy your last day. I'm looking at the snow. My plants made it. None of them died. Some of them looked really unhappy. And I decided this at one point. I don't know that I shared this with all of you. Over the summer, I'll be getting rid of all the plants because I want to be able to do what I did again, and I don't want the plants to suffer. And I have many, many plants. And it seems silly to build a lifestyle that requires someone to come in and water your plants. So I'm just going to give them away. I'll plant some outside, even though they won't make it past summer. And I'll give others away. And yeah, it's time. There were some great plants there. I enjoyed a lot of the trees that are down there. Stacy, and you know what, Stacy? I knew you would be. Stacy says, I'll be a happy plant adopter. I knew you would. Is there anything else to tell you about? The date for Free Training Day Northeast is now public, November 11th, 2023, Keene, New Hampshire. As well as some of you know what's going on with this, but not all of you do. What we are calling Marshall Summit. If you were around for Free Training Day Northeast this past year, you know that it was more than Free Training Day. We had a MATIC course on Sunday, and we had a meet and greet on Friday, and there were a number of other things. Well, that whole thing, and the awards dinner on Saturday. The weekend is growing, and we needed a bigger name for it, so it's Marshall Summit. And there are no details other than Thursday, the 9th through Monday, the 13th. Those are the days we are carving off, and we will see what happens. Okay. I don't think we'll do anything on the 13th, but we might. So Kelly asks, downsizing? I don't know if it's so much about downsizing, but it's about flexibility. If I'm going to have plants, I don't want them to die. You know, part of why I don't have a dog is because much as I love dogs, I do a fair amount of traveling, and logistically that's unfair to the dog. Same thing with a cat. Well, while plants are not in the same category as dogs and cats, it's still a concern. And it was the first thing I did when I got home was water the plants. Got home. I hadn't even brought my bags in from the garage. I came in and I watered the plants because they're living things and they deserved to not die. And my poor avocado trees, they're struggling. They were already struggling. Last mental check to see if there's anything else I want to share from my travels yesterday. There's one thing I was thinking of, and I'm curious what your thoughts are on this. How often do we hear about someone stealing a bag from an airport? Now, people get the wrong bag at the carousel. But you know all those bags you see at the end? Nobody takes them. And it happens. You see so many leftover bags and nobody grabbing them because nobody's going to stop you. Nobody's going to say, "Are you sure that's your bag?" Nobody's going to say anything. And I wonder if it is because we have been conditioned for so long not to touch unattended bags, right? If you see a bag unattended. And I've started to test this a little bit. You know, it used to be, I have to take my bag with me, the 3 feet to the trash can. What if I just leave it right here? Nobody's going to touch it. It's my bag. Is the whole messaging about unattended bags not about safety, but theft? That's what I was wondering. I'm not sure. I'm going to think about it some more. Dennis says, I already have my own dirty clothes in my bag. I don't need someone else's. Gad says, I now have an image of you boarding a plane with a chihuahua in your handbag. It wouldn't be a chihuahua, but yes. Kelly says, had the news crew at class yesterday. Students had a blast, and I found out a student of mine nominated me for a 20 Outstanding Women for 2023, done through one of our local radio stations in Hannaford's, and I won. So I'll be interviewed on radio and stuff. So humbling. That's awesome. Congratulations. Well deserved. All right. Frank sent over some stuff for us. We're going to take a look at it. Thank you to Frank for all your work on the show. Thank you to Josh for a theme song. Thank you to Denise for the audio. Once again, we're hearing from Les Brown, Man About Town. Do what is easy, and your life will be hard. Do what is hard, and your life will become easy. I've spent some time reflecting on just how well my trip went, physically, emotionally, how I was able to get such wonderful work done while I was gone. The fact that I signed clients while I was gone. And I have 2 clients that I met from my trip that are coming on. It's because of discipline. I woke up at 5 a.m. I did all the things, not all the things. I did not shower yet. I had just quite not enough time that I felt confident. I want to shave and cut my hair. I wasn't going to quite have time for that. So I'll do that after the show. but discipline. The more and more disciplined I become, and the more I think about it, the more I realize that discipline is really the heart of everything. If we remain disciplined, doing the things that we know we need to do, holding to the habits, 12 months to health, anyone? The better life gets. And I will agree with this statement here. Because when I think of the people who have difficult lives, that complain about what they don't have, there's little discipline in their life. They'll point to making their bed and spend more time complaining about why it's a waste of time than it would take to do it. I saw somebody that I know, somebody who has been on the show, somebody complaining on social media about not getting enough done, not being able to get done everything they wanted to get done. And I said, look, you know me. We've spent plenty of time together. We've spent plenty of time on the phone because I consider this person a friend. And I said, I'm going to tell you to trust me to do this. This will help you. And I could tell right off the bat, they had no interest in actually changing the situation. They wanted the situation to change. They didn't want to change it. They wanted to keep doing what they were doing and have a different outcome. Doesn't work that way. Kelly says, staying disciplined and doing my PT 3 times a day, even though it's painful and time consuming, but keeping my eye on the prize. Exactly. Tommy says, definitely right on the complaint versus discipline ratio. Next. The world is waiting for you to wake up to the person you are called to be. Stop listening to the negative inner conversation that's causing you to play small. Focus your mind on positive thoughts, possibilities, and solutions that can move you forward. Tap into your creativity and determination and stay busy. Stay focused. Doing all those things takes discipline. Playing small serves no one. We're all here for purpose. If you don't know what it is, keep looking for it. If you know what it is and you're not living up to it, you are depriving yourself and those around you and the world. Whether we get to come back or there's more after, we all have our own beliefs, and I think those are irrelevant. Because we're here now, and we have an opportunity with this life. What are we doing with it? Most people do nothing with it. Most people float. Most people are content to exist until they die. Now, whether we get one shot at life or multiple, I think it's equally valid to say you're wasting that life. And it is a shame that we have this opportunity to better our species, and we are the only species that does not do everything we can to better our species. In fact, we live in a time when most people, their actions make our species worse. That's a shame. But that doesn't mean that the rest of us can't step up and take the opportunity and do everything that we can, because just because everyone doesn't do what they can doesn't mean we can't do everything we can. And we should. and I hope you will. Kelly says, when I was deciding to do martial arts full time, most people tried to talk me out of it. But deep down, I knew teaching was my purpose, so I went for it. Never regretted it. And why did they try to talk you out of it? Fear. Some of the fear was likely selfless. They were afraid for you. But how many of them didn't want you to follow your dream because it just proved that they didn't follow theirs? How many people out there feel better about themselves in sort of a bullying way? It's an indirect bullying sort of deal. When they talk you out of doing the thing that you want to do because they don't have the stones to do the thing they want to do. That's most people. And our last quote here from Les Brown today. The graveyard is the richest place on earth because it is here that you will find all the hopes and dreams that were never fulfilled, the books that were never written, the songs that were never sung, the inventions that were never shared, the cures that were never discovered, all because someone was too afraid to take that first step, keep with the problem, or determined to carry out their dream. No one needs to give you permission. In fact, I have very much shifted in the course of my life from an asking permission to asking forgiveness. And guess what? Very rarely does someone tell me I made a mistake. I do. There are plenty of times the voice in the back of my head obsesses over things and the way people act around me and everything. And it tries to keep me small, but I work really hard to ignore it. Stop expecting someone to show you a path to follow to success, to greatness, to your purpose, to whatever. It doesn't exist. You have to show yourself. Are you willing to do that? Are you willing to be the best version of yourself? The best version of anything is not simple or easy. It's an outlier. Think about the best athletes. They spend the most time in the gym. They have the most problems with their teammates or the media. Think about the most successful businesses and their CEOs. They're constantly in the sights of others. It doesn't matter what you're doing. If you're on the edge, on that leading edge of that bell curve, if you're exceptional, you will be taking shots from people around you. I have shifted over the last few months. I am no longer trying to prevent that or watching for that. I am welcoming it. It is a sign of progress. It is a sign of growth. The further we get out there, the more it's going to happen. And bring it on. Because it's an opportunity for me to get better at something that I'm not great at, which is taking criticism and just people not liking me. Rebecca says, my mom does this every time I talk about class. It drives me crazy and is so confusing. Then don't talk to her about class. If she doesn't get it and she just feels the need to be negative, talk to her about it. You don't need her permission. You're an adult. I'm sure there are other things in your life that she doesn't like that you don't tell her about, or that she wouldn't if she knew. Gad says, I believe the human species is not evolving at the same rate. Some people have already evolved to a higher enlightened level, as where others behind are actually devolving. I would agree with that. Rebecca says, I found the one thing that brings me peace and makes me feel good about myself is martial arts. So it's bizarre that my mom is always trying to deter me from it because she doesn't feel peace and she doesn't feel good about herself. And she's not willing to try. And it's sad when this happens to people that we love. But as we progress, and this is one of the most difficult lessons I've had to learn in my life, that as I continue to grow as a person, as a professional, as anything, it becomes more and more likely that the people that I was around do not remain because I outgrow them. It's sad. It's hard to find people that are growth minded. It really is. But it doesn't mean it's not worth growing, and it doesn't mean doesn't mean that you stop looking. Kelly says, yep, haters will always hate. So as you go through your day, don't let other people rain on your parade, harsh your mellow, or whatever cliche we can throw in there. If there are things you want to do them. The right people will support you in doing them. There are obvious exceptions for unhealthy things, but you don't need people's permission to be the person you want to be. There's someone that I'm close to, and we've had several conversations. We actually had a couple more while I was away about their partner resenting them for growing. And why is that? It's because they're growing apart. Because one of them is growing, the other refuses. I think we all know what that ends up as. But what was sad is that there have been moments where I've talked to this person on the phone and they've made compromises to their growth, trying to find some middle ground, ignoring the things that they want to do, the person they want to become to keep their spouse happy. That doesn't serve anyone. What do they need? They need a divorce. It's quite obvious. He needs to go do his thing. She needs to go do her thing. And they need to grow in the direction that they want to grow in, because I suspect they both want to grow, just in very different ways. Stop playing small. Stop asking permission. Be the exceptional version of you that you deserve to be, because no one else can be you. Hello, Francis. Kelly says, that's how you find your true friends. Completely agree. And we'll end here with Gad's comment. You just do you. I've also stopped caring about what others think. I don't bring certain things up with certain people. Saves pain at both sides. I keep it light with these people and move on. Yeah, it's a great way to do it. I hope you have a fantastic day. I hope to see you back here tomorrow for another episode. I hope that if you are not already supporting us on Patreon, you will consider doing that. Patreon.com/whistlekick starts at $2 a month. Helps us out, gives you some behind the scenes, and we've got tiers up from the $2 a month plan that give you even more. Other ways you could support us, you can make a purchase at whistlekick.com using the code FIRSTCOUPLE15, You could mark your calendar for a variety of things, or you could check out the family page, which has not been updated this week. It might be updated today. Probably not. It'll get updated. Whistlekick.com/family. I want to thank you all for being here. I appreciate you spending your time with me. I hope you have a great day. I'll see you tomorrow. Peace.